Okay, cool. Then it must be like this.
Yeah. Denver's our home. Denver's where we start our day, work, learn, relax, and grow. Denver is where we dream and worry about our future, plan for that future, and try to make those dreams and plans a reality. For 7 years now, I have listened to the man across the street say and promise things that have not become reality. My name is Kayvan Khalatbari. I'm a candidate for mayor of Denver in 2019, and I am very proud to call Denver home. I'm running for mayor of Denver because we are facing a crisis in our home, and I know we could be doing better as a city, and that the responsibility for our underperformance starts and ends with the mayor of our city. Housing, education, overcrowded jails, the health of our environment, and the conditions of our workers. Vast economic disparity across our city. We're falling behind many of our counterparts across the country, and if we continue in this direction, the severity of these problems is sure to increase. The people of Denver are doing everything we can, often in spite of our city administration, to lift ourselves and each other up, and to improve our lives and the lives of our neighbors. But from starting a business to getting a good education and finding stable housing so we can make reliable plans for the future, city policies are making life harder on all of us. I've been in the position that many are in Denver right now, not knowing what's next, how you'll keep a roof over your head, or how you're going to deal with even one more expense, no matter how small. I understand the feeling of hopelessness and feeling that the world is against you. I'm the son of an Iranian immigrant farmer. I'm a man of color who has dealt with racism all his life. While I understand the level of privilege I am afforded by my gender and skin tone, even with these privileges, I have felt the cards stacking in front of me at times. As a child, we lost our home when my parents got divorced and finances spun out of control. My hardworking single mother maintained 2 to 3 jobs to keep us afloat and maintain a roof over our heads. We persisted, and at 16 years of age, I graduated high school and moved out on my own. Because I had access to an affordable education with a lot of hard work and a lot of long days, I was able to support myself and pay for college, graduating at 19 years old. I soon found myself employed, more comfortable than I have ever been, and ready to accept new challenges. And those challenges came. As an adult during the last recession, while starting on my path of entrepreneurship here in Denver, I found myself 3 payments behind on my mortgage and effectively homeless for the next 9 months. It is impossible to overstate the importance of a support network in times of financial crisis. Over the last decade, I've applied the lessons of perseverance and hard work I learned from my mother, and I proudly stand here today with 13 businesses that employ almost 400 people. I'm here today because of the courage, support, and the vision of the wonderful people around me. And it is to repay those gifts that I have given as much time as I have to nonprofit boards such as the Colorado Youth Symphony Orchestra, the Harm Reduction Action Center, and the Alternative Solutions Advocacy Project to provide support to issues that our city is failing us on. My struggles occurred in different times, though. The United States and Denver have changed dramatically since then, and the opportunity for people to pull themselves up is quickly slipping away. We are at a pivotal moment as a community. We have grown rapidly over the last decade. This growth has been poorly managed and has led to displacement, a dramatic surge in the cost of living, and tensions in our community. This election comes at an important time, and we as a city need to decide who we are going to be. People whose families have lived in Denver for generations are wondering if they can stay. Students, young professionals, creatives, and families are all struggling to plan for the future. And those who have lived here for decades look around and don't recognize the city that they call home. I have, at times, been criticized for being too negative in this campaign. But what some have deemed negative have been comments stating facts about the reality in Denver today. While for some that reality is positive, many have already been forced to leave or are one moment in life away from being pushed from their homes, all in the name of unimpeded economic development. A growing wealth gap, stagnant wages, manufactured costs of living increases, classism, racism, pollution, and incentivized overdevelopment are causing deep inner turmoil in our residents who wonder if they still want to call Denver home. The last 7 years have proven that we have a city administration that is ill-equipped to address these problems. The time for buzzword plans is over. We've divested in certain communities for so long that the life expectancy of some in Washington Park is a decade longer than someone in Valverde. That's the same for someone in Stapleton versus someone in Capitol Hill. While we make bold claims about environmental stewardship, North Denver still includes the most polluted zip code in America. Our current mayor to this day has fought tooth and nail against green roofs, and we've made zero meaningful progress on public transportation as our city swells. While the city talks about legacy projects and trickle-down economics in a manner eerily similar to Donald Trump, everyday Denverites aren't seeing this come to fruition. 60% of our homeless population works. 50% of renting Denver households are rent-burdened or severely rent-burdened, and the median price for a home has more than doubled in the last decade. Our middle class is one of the most quickly shrinking in America. The people of Denver deserve a city that helps them achieve their dreams, that helps them thrive. I believe our best chance for that is to ensure everyone has access to housing, health care, healthy food, education, and internet. If we provide those tools along with ceasing the criminalization of public health matters, I believe that people will be empowered to create their own opportunities in life, just as I have. To accomplish this, we need to ditch the buzzwords and coalesce around tangible and achievable goals. We need to be able to measure our success along the way, not assign vague aspirations to arbitrary deadlines decades in our future. Most importantly, we need a government that is honest and transparent, kind and compassionate, collaborative and bold. In that vein, I believe that housing is a human right, not a commodity to be bargained over with private developers. It is only when we approach it as that kind of priority in our policy and our culture that we will see the results that we need. The creation of sustainable, economically diverse housing for all incomes and diverse neighborhoods in every part of Denver. That's what we should aspire to. We are going to hit the ground running in year one of my administration to move us in this direction. We will execute on a robust social housing plan that removes the profit motive from this human right and signal to massive developers that the days of generating egregious profits on the back of our residents are over. We're going to create a human right housing fund. This fund will pool existing monies and land from our city and our partners to invest in the construction of social housing developments in collaboration with community land trusts. We're going to pull from models that have proven successful elsewhere in the world and create a housing stock that does not fall victim to market forces. We're going to strengthen renters' rights and expand a legal defense fund for renters. We're going to modify an archaic zoning and building codes to allow for more creative housing solutions. We're going to repeal the urban camping ban, and we're going to stop incentivizing the construction of luxury developments. Those don't cost us money. They simply take a will in leadership. We're not turning our backs on private developers, though. We still very much need them in this fight, but the rules are going to dramatically change. We will invite the private sector to be a part of the solution by only offering taxpayer-funded incentives that encourage social impact real estate developments and are considerate of the balance between social equity and profit. It doesn't need to stop at housing. It can't. We need to encourage our residents to thrive and to find their own path to success, to find their own destiny. We can do that through economic development. To do this, we're going to reprioritize the focus of the Office of Economic Development and its incentives in the direction of supporting employees, small businesses, cooperative and employee-owned models, and a strong local economy ahead of the current giveaways that we're giving to multinational companies. It's come time to empower the people of Denver to thrive and to take agency over their lives. We must touch on criminal justice reform as a part of this. We're going to say enough is enough with a failed war on drugs and a broken and racist criminal justice system, and finally tackle our mental health and substance abuse crises. This starts by diverting all nonviolent public health offenders away from our jail system and into supportive services and workforce development opportunities. When our neighbors are struggling and need our support, we must stop turning our backs on them. The answer is not to throw them in jail, but to get them the help they need. We can invest in more compassionate, effective, and economical models that lift people up. If we truly value people and rehabilitation, our justice system must reflect those values. We're also going to take a strong swing at closing the inequity gap amongst young adults by making certain that every single DPS graduate who wants to go to college or be certified in a skilled trade and can't afford it has that opportunity. Post-high school education should not be a privilege. It should be a right for all those who want to put the work in, and we can make sure that happens here in Denver. Regarding the environment, a government's most essential responsibility is to protect its people. Climate change poses a real and imminent danger that must be addressed at every turn. In addition to building on bike lane infrastructure, we will expand the accessibility and affordability of public transportation for our workforce and students by establishing, funding, and enacting in the first year a subsidized RTD pass for everyone that needs one. I believe we can realize the above goals in my first term and within our current resources, but we can achieve them much more quickly by taking back control of our monetary system from the greedy hands of Wall Street and chartering a public bank here in Denver. A public bank would keep our money in this city where it can be reinvested in Denver and its residents. It can stabilize our economy in times of recession, insulating us from market instability caused by this administration in the White House. It could provide loans to those who might not otherwise qualify, helping our neighbors get homes and start businesses. A public bank is not at all a radical idea. It is a strong and viable solution that is badly needed as a stabilizer and fortifier of our local economy. To provide one example of the power of public banks, last year we as a city borrowed $937 million as a part of our GO bond. What the current administration doesn't like to tell you is that we're paying back that money borrowed, as well as more than $700 million over the next 10 years in interest to Wall Street banks. That's $70 million per year in taxpayer money that we're shipping out of Colorado in the form of interest payments, lining the pockets of the 1%ers, when it could and should be directed towards housing, schools, and our severely underfunded public transportation system. This, while we currently have more than enough money available in city assets to pay for these GO bond projects. We simply need to remove that money from risky investments such as derivative vehicles, mutual funds, and stocks. These are all dangerous transactions that the city should not be participating in with taxpayer money. At the end of the day, I know, as do many of you, that we want to call Denver home. That we need our home to be a welcoming place where we can all thrive, and that we want to feel at ease and confident about who we are as a community. I firmly believe to have our needs met and to prevent the degradation of our home that we need new leadership in this city. We need honest and transparent leaders in our mayor's office and in city council who have people first priorities and will stand up to special interests and creatively, collaboratively, and urgently pursue practical solutions that get to the root of our many problems. I love this city. It's afforded me every opportunity I could have ever wanted, and I will continue to fight for everyone here to have the same. Together, we can make Denver a home for all people, and I hope you will join us. My name is Kayvan Khalatbari, and I am running for mayor of Denver in 2019. Thank you very much. Hot up there, buddy.